Hey, I thought I would live stream some of the snow. Look at it. Hold on. Hey, look at this. You guys, it's starting to snow really hard. Not really hard, but look at the street. Look how dorky I look. I swear it wasn't coming down this hard before. Yeah, this morning when I woke up though, it wasn't. Now it's falling harder. I wanted to go to Starbucks, but I'm not driving in the snow. So now, if Morgan gets it, I'll ask him. Oh yeah, the snow style. My jacket that doesn't get it's like a rain jacket, you know? Looks pretty awesome, my porch. I don't know. I didn't even know it was supposed to snow today. I love it though. I need to look it up. I didn't even know. It is. Not like here though. For some reason, Morgan and I keep calling Little Puff. We keep calling her this name from the Wizard of Oz, the Evil Queen. Little Spark. I finished moving. We had like a day to get out of the house, so we've gotten mostly everything. Yeah, it looks crappy, doesn't it? The people playing. Looks like shit. The festival. Look at, we're looking up. Okay, for some reason now I keep calling the cat. I want you to know this name because I always forget it. It's fucking funny. Old Snarlspats. Old Snarlspats! Come here, old Snarlspats! So I've been calling him Puff. Snarlspats! Because I don't know why, but it's one of the names for the Wicked Witch of the West. Thank you. We're looking up. There's some really fucking weird names for her, so we thought it was funny. And one of them was like, one of them was fucking like Old Snarlspats. That's what reminds me of the cat when she acts kind of bitchy. Yeah, look at. Now I call her that. Snarlspats! What a weird fucking name. I thought Morgan was joking. He was like reading me all the names of the Wicked Witch of the West, and I'm like, okay, dude, you're just making up shit now. And he's like, no, it really says that. If we looked at it, said it does. It says like it. The Wicked Witch of the West. Good morning. Alphaba. Now it's too hot in here. I wore all these layers, and now I'm like dying in the house with one. I'm fucking annoyed. I gotta find this shit. You know how it can be. It says that the Wicked Witch of the West only had one eye in the book. Or she had she was a cyclops. Yeah, her name in a different book, okay, is Old Snarlspats. Lanessa, Bastinda. She's a bunch of names. Bastinda, Elphaba, Old Snarlspats, Lanessa. I'm sorry, I just thought it was funny because I was like, what the fuck? Like, there's more to it. I don't even know where they are, but he was like reading all the names to me, and I was like, I thought he was joking. I'm like, what the fuck? Old Snarlspats, really? And I looked it up, and that was like a different name for the Wicked Witch. Fucking, that's the cat's name now. Old Snarlspats! You guys, I love this show, Once Upon a Time. How nerdy do I look right now? I'm like... You have to watch it. It's good. Do you have Netflix? Oh my god, Taylor. Or do you have like... Okay, you have... Oh my god, are you gonna watch the Taylor Swift? Are you gonna watch the Reputation thing when it comes out? I've been using apple cider vinegar on my face as a toner. I did it last night and this morning. It feels good. It's like this stuff you can use for anything. Like, well, it's for food. You can eat it too. It's like, but I was reading about it, how you can use it for your face or anything. Like a lot of stuff. Yeah. Hand hurts. And it's like this stuff. I put some in the water. So I washed my face and then I put the toner on it. It made me feel really good. It's like, whoa, it's snowing more now. Look at. I guess it's hard to like be able to show you guys the fall, like how it looks falling. I love Once Upon a Time. He's like, Once Upon a Time in Storybrooke. You do too? I want to know what you think of it. I think you'll like it. Aww. It's like addicting though. Like I've already seen it once. Send it to me or put it on your live me too. I've already seen most of the season and I'm like rewatching it and I'm like, what's gonna happen? Even though I've like seen part of it. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I forgot little twists in it. I'm not really like a TV person either. Like I don't really get into shows. Have you noticed the only shows I really get into are like about fantasy or magic? Like Charmed was about witches. Once Upon a Time is about fairy tales. It's like the only thing I will ever get really into. Maybe is like sometimes shit like that, but. They do some characters dirty on there, I gotta say. On Once Upon a Time, making Peter evil. And Hook is like a good guy. Sorry, I changed my shirt. Hook's like a good guy in it. And it's weird because they make Rumpelstiltskin be like everybody. Meaning like the tale of Rumpelstiltskin, they like, you know about him, he like could turn straw into gold and he'd make deals. I know, but they make him really fucked up in Once Upon a Time. It's like not cool. It's like you guys, like they made him like so messed up. Made him more messed up than Rumpelstiltskin, and he's like the most. When you start watching Once Upon a Time, Rumpelstiltskin's like they call him the Dark One. It's like the Dark One is basically like the most powerful wizard or something. It's like whoever has his dagger, you're the Dark One. So it's like he has it, and he's really powerful at one point. But Rumple, he's like the person everybody goes to for he always does deals with people. Like it's like his thing. He's like, oh, like that's how. In the tale of Rumpelstiltskin, like this lady needed to get out of her cell, like in the real story of Rumpelstiltskin, and he showed up and he helped her spin the straw into gold, and then he told her that the price she'd have to pay is like giving Rumple the firstborn. That's like the real story of Rumpelstiltskin. It's like he like was like, if you figure out my name, then you could keep your child. That's like the real tale of Rumpelstiltskin. You know, he like helped this lady where she was gonna die. And he said, okay, but there has to come. They always say this in the show. Magic comes with a price, Diddy. Like magic always comes with a price. Like he's like, so if I help you, when you have your firstborn kid, I get to have it unless you find out my name. So that's like the real story of Rumpelstiltskin. And then, but in Once Upon a Time, they make Rumpelstiltskin like be the person who does deals with everybody, because you know how he did that deal with that lady. So he runs like a pawn shop. It's like a pawn shop where people go and sell shit, and everyone always makes deals with him. Because he's like, it's weird because they made him kind of, and they also made him like Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Because Rumple's kind of ugly. He's ugly. They made him be like the Beast. Like it's kind of interesting. Some of the characters will play the same archetypes, like he's the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, and he's Rumpelstiltskin, because he like turned. It's weird. You have to see. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like because the thing is, they live in a world where it starts out where they live in a town, and they all forgot that they're fantasy characters. So it's like they don't remember that he knows. He's like one of the only people that knows. Like it's like there's a town, Storybrooke, and only they all live there, and the only people that know it's like under a curse, and the only people that know it's not under the curse, only people that know about the curse are Rumpelstiltskin and the Evil Queen, because Rumpelstiltskin helped the Evil Queen make the curse. The Evil Queen made this curse because she hates Snow White, and so she like it's all about like how the Evil Queen and Snow White wanted to kill her, and so she made the fucking curse that sent everybody to a land without magic, the U.S. Maine. And then like they all forgot that they were like fairy tale characters, so they like Snow White thinks she's Mary Margaret and shit, and like just like all these weird stuff in this. So everybody the only people that know that it's all fake is the Queen and Rumple. But then when everybody wakes up and they realize that they've been under a fucking curse, they get really pissed off because they're like, you know, like they realize that it was the Evil Queen is like ends up she's the mayor of the town, so it's like all the people live in the town that she made this curse for, and she's the mayor of it, so they're all like under her control, and they don't like remember anything about their lives. The Evil Queen has like control over everybody, but you know what I like about it is it makes it like the show too is it's like there's evil characters, but then they get like explored more. Instead of it just being like, she's the evil queen and a dumb bitch. It's like, I'm surprised that Disney does this. Like, they made it so it's more like you understand more, like, multifaceted why people are evil, or it's like, or that some people aren't evil. It's like you learn, it's like about how to, like, you know, you have a choice, even if you were evil your whole life, to do something good in the moment. You know, it's like, it doesn't always have to define you just because maybe in the past you were known as being a bad person, like the evil queen. It's like she always has a bad reputation. She ends up changing in the series and stuff. She's still badass and stuff, but it's like you understand why she became, like, the reason why she became kind of hated Snow White and stuff. It gives you like more of a backstory on her, and also it makes people, it's yeah, she's still badass, but it like gives you, like, I like it. It gives you multi-dimensional view on people, because it's like so many people are quick to throw somebody out if they mess up. They fuck up once, like, you're wrong. Oh, you're, don't talk to me again. It's like what I like about Once Upon a Time is that, like, the people believe in each other a lot, even if somebody does, like, they're always willing to try to give someone another chance. Like, I wish more people were like that in real life. Like, I feel like people are so willing to just throw you out if you mess up once, instead of, like, being like, okay, like, I'll give you another chance. I believe in you. Um, yeah, Luna Bar, and they do that with her, Regina. Regina's the evil queen. I told you why that she hated Snow, because her mom made her marry. Her mom made Snow. Her mom made Regina's mom, the evil queen, made her marry the king. And she didn't want to. And she ripped out the heart of her true love in front of her and crushed it. This was when the evil queen was a teenager. She wasn't evil then, you know? She was just a girl, a princess. She liked to ride, she was just a girl, and she was really liked to ride horses and was like in love with the stable boy, you know? And her mom, like, found out and was pissed off because her mom was planning on her marrying the king, so she killed the boyfriend right in front of her. And that always made, that, like, is what was, like, the seed of Regina becoming evil, like, starting it off, because she was just, like, so hurt by her mom doing that, like, killing her boyfriend right in front of her. And it was, like, it's weird, because later on, Regina ends up kind of acting like her mom, but then you see, like, when she was younger, like, how she got treated and how she changed, because when she was younger, she was just, like, a girl. It shows, it's just kind of interesting. It makes you, like, have more empathy, I think. I think people are really quick to judge everybody. Like, nowadays, if you do one thing wrong, you're outcasted. It's like, sometimes people have to realize it's not always black and white. Like, sometimes bad people can do good things, you know, sometimes good people can do bad things. It's like, I don't know, it's weird. Oh, there is. Regina's mother. It's fucking, like, insane. It's like, that's why I like it. I think it makes me, because, like, Regina, her mom, Cora, you find this out later, but, like, at one point, you know, she starts, so Cora can do magic. Rumpelstiltskin's the one who teaches everybody magic. And Regina always thought that was bad, that her mom did magic. But then, after her mom kills her boyfriend, Regina starts learning magic too. She learns enough of it that she's talking to Rumple, and she tells him that she doesn't want her mom around anymore. And Rumple's like, okay, I'm gonna enchant this mirror. All you have to do is push your mom through it, you know, and she'll disappear, but she won't die. She'll just go somewhere else. Regina's like, I don't know, and he's like, well, if you can do it if you want, if you have the guts to do it. And so Regina's like, does it. Like, she ends up pushing her mom into the mirror, and her mom disappears for a while, and you don't know where she went, but it's like she ended up going to Wonderland. And she's the Queen of Hearts. That's why she was pulling, you know, she fucking pulled out that guy's heart, crushed it in front of Regina, okay? She's like, ends up being the Queen of Hearts in Wonderland, which was like the evil queen there. But you don't know this either. It's like she just gets pushed through the looking glass and ends up going into Wonderland, the mom. And she disappears for a long time, but then she ends up coming back, and it's like, you find out about her. Like, it's even crazier. It fucking gets even crazier there. Okay, then it's like, you learn about her. And when she was a young girl, she was poor, and she was a miller's daughter. They called her, like, meaning, like, her dad was just, like, a miller. She had no money. She always wanted to marry into royalty or get rich, Regina's mom. And one night, this guy in the bar tells her that he's like in love with her and he wants to marry her and that he's a prince, and she believes him. And then they end up like having sex in the bedroom before they're married. She's like, well, technically, then you're married. We're married, and he's like, okay. And then he's like, I'll come back in 2 weeks and find you. And then he never came back in 2 weeks. Cora, this is Regina's mom, and she finds the guy, and she finds out he's not a prince. He was lying. He was a gardener. And not only that, but she's pregnant. Okay. The only reason she had sex with him is because she thought that he was like the king or the prince. She thought that this lady really wanted to be in royalty. That's why her daughter, Regina, the royal, you know what I mean? She made her daughter marry the king. You gotta like, so it kind of gives you good, she really wanted to be part of the royal family, Cora. And so like she slept with this guy thinking he was a prince and he wasn't. He lied to her and she got pregnant and she was like totally scared and stuff. And then she was crying on the grounds at the castle, and like the real king found her. He ends up liking her and asks her to marry him. Right? I know. He ends up asking to marry her. But then the gossip spreads in the kingdom that like she's pregnant with the baby. And fucking king finds out basically because she was gonna go steal some jewels and give it to the guy to shut him up, the dude who got her pregnant. She was like, okay, I'm gonna steal some jewels from the kingdom and give them to you. Fucking leave me alone. Don't ever tell the king about this. This other lady overheard it and went and told the king about it. So when she goes in late at night to go try to steal some jewels, the king's there and he's like, let me look in your pockets. And in Cora's pocket she does have some jewels. And then she gets kicked out of the kingdom and doesn't marry him. And it's like and so that was like, and the lady who snitched on her, like basically Cora was like, the only reason she didn't marry the king is because a woman went and told the king that she went and told all the gossip to the king, and then that woman was Snow White's mom. So this is how it all links up too. So it's like the king ended up marrying Snow White's mom instead of Cora. Like he was gonna marry Cora, Regina's mom, King Leopold, but then he married Snow White's mom because she's the one that caught Cora in a lie, you know. And that's how Snow White started, just like when the evil queen marries the king after Snow White's mom dies. Like in Snow White, the real story, it's like, you know, the Wicked Witch is the mom, the stepmom of Snow White, because Snow White's mom dies when she's a little girl. So once upon a time, it's like, so when Snow White's mom dies, yeah, it's interesting. It gives you more perspective too of why their families hate each other. It's like Regina, the evil queen, and Snow White don't even know about this, about their moms. They find out later that that Snow's mom is the one that like turned in Cora, and Cora got kicked out of the kingdom, and you know, they find this out later, and they're like, damn, they're like, whoa, no wonder we have some weird karma in our family, because it's like they thought they just had fights. Snow White and the Snow White and the evil queen thought they just had problems, but then they realized that their moms had problems with each other too. Like it's like a lot deeper than they thought it was. Like, and not only that, but like they find out that the evil Regina's mom like killed Snow White's mom by poisoning her, like slowly poisoning her. It's like because also Snow White's mom was a bitch to Cora. Cora was like the miller's daughter and had no money. That was Regina's mom, and in public she'd make her like bow to her and kiss her feet. So Cora was like really resentful about that, how she had to bow in front of them in public and shit. She ends up like so Snow White's mom dies of an illness, but then they find out later that it was because Cora poisoned her. Fucking Regina's mom. It's like she's fucked up. Not only that, but then it's like the baby that she has, remember I told you she's pregnant with the guy's kid that she like doesn't want to keep, or it's like the dude, the gardener, she's pregnant with the gardener's kid, and she if she has the kid, like her livelihood's gone. Like, you know, back then there was no options for women to do anything, I guess. So she leaves her, she does give birth to the baby, but then she leaves her in like the forest Oh, it's okay. I'm sorry I'm rambling, but it's fun for me. She gives birth to the baby, leaves it in the forest in a basket. And, so Regina didn't even know she had a sister. Like, that was the sister. Like, the first kid she ever had was a baby that she had with the gardener, you know, and she, like, never wanted it because she didn't want anyone to know. So the mom went and put the baby in a basket and left it in the woods, Cora. And she goes back on living her normal life. So nobody even knew that she had a baby, really. And Regina definitely didn't know. Regina thought she was the only child growing up her whole life. And you find out later she wasn't, because her sister, the firstborn, was like, she's really intense. She's like really pissed off because she feels like Regina got everything because her mom made her queen. Her mom fucking like did everything for her. Cora did everything for the evil queen, Regina. So the sister has been watching in private for years, super pissed, looking in her sear bowl and shit, just looking at it, really mad, just being like this stupid. She's like, Regina is so self-centered and selfish. She doesn't appreciate anything she has. She's like, she's been given everything. Me, I've had nothing. Like, she just lives. Yeah, you can. She's like, maybe I'll just, like, she's just so pissed, like, looking at her sister's life and how she doesn't have the same stuff as her. She's just like, I deserve this, not her, blah, blah, blah. But Regina doesn't even know about her. And it's, the Wicked Witch of the West. This is her sister, is from Oz. You know, that's why she's really powerful. It's like, that's the baby that was fucking left in a basket. The one that Cora put in the basket and left in the woods. Ends up getting picked up by a cyclone and, like, dropped in Oz. And then these people find her, and she's, like, magical when she was born, the baby. And that's who they make her, the evil witch, the Wicked Witch of the West from the Wizard of Oz. Like, she's like Regina's sister, the evil queen's. But she didn't know that she had a sister. She's the girl who plays her so good. She's like, I'm wicked. She's like she's so fucking good, and she's like green. But she's green because she's really envious of her sister Regina. It's like intense. It's crazy how they made that plot twist of having the Wizard of Oz connect into it. But they make it really interesting because they tell her that, like, so what part is shady? The fucking Wicked Witch or the sister? It's shady. It is weird. It's like, whoa. And Regina just thinks that she's, ooh, I'm wicked. Yeah, like, she says it in a really British way. I can't even do it. Like, she's like, so, like, this chick is good who plays her. And like, she's like, I don't know, the bad characters on the show are the best actors. All of them are the best. All the evil people are really good. Like Rumple, you got to. Wait, where is she? Let's see if I can find her. This season with Skechers Energy Wicked and evil face off.
Did it. That's her blood? The Queen's? Lovely. Now I shall get my revenge. Of course I will. The Queen may be evil, but I'm wicked. And wicked always wins.
She's like, I love her. She's like, the Queen may be evil, but I'm wicked. She's like, and a wicked always wins. She's awesome. Like, The girl who plays her is good too. Like she's fucking like very hateable. That's how I know someone's a good actor when I'm watching it and I like hate their character when they're supposed to be bad. I'm like I hate and that's how you know they're good though. Wait, this is funny too. The two badass chicks.
Has life got you down? None of your business. You really don't know who I am, do you? I know exactly who you are. The Wicked Witch. Is that all? I'm not that interested.
That's what they're sisters. They don't know.
Allow me to introduce myself. You can call me Zelina. That's my dress. I had to take it in a little bit at the hips, but it looks better on me, do you think? I think you never should have left Oz. You can have your castle back if you want it that badly. I was just trying it on for size. Besides, I've already seen everything worth seeing. Your closet, your gardens, your crypt. Yes, how did you break the bloodlock? I didn't. The door was open.
Blood magic.
No one's that powerful.
Listen, in it, it's like they think that the evil queen thinks that the Wicked Witch is just super powerful because she was able to. There's a thing called blood magic, meaning like, let's say I put a spell in this house and only my blood relatives could get in here, like Gunnar or my mom or something. It'd be like blood magic. It's when only her family can access it. Okay, so Regina has done that to a lot of her things that the Wicked Witch broke into. So she's like, how did you do that? She's like, you must be a very powerful witch. You broke through all my blood magic. And she's like, no, I didn't. This is when she tells her she's your sister. And she's like, because she's like, she's like, no one's able to break through blood magic. It's like a very hard thing. You can't break through it. So she was like, how did you get into my castle? How did you get into my crypt? It's all protected by blood magic. No one's Rumpelstiltskin can't even do it. So it's like, Regina hasn't registered that they're related.
Your closet, your gardens.
That's why she was able to get through all the blood magic. Like, how'd you break the blood lock?
I didn't. The door was open. No one's that powerful. Cora really never told you. Told me what? The truth about us, Regina. What are you talking about? How do you know my mother? Same way you do. I'm your sister.
They're so dramatic. She's like, because Cora never told her about her. Cora, like the mom, and so Regina's like kind of pissed off too, like thinking like, what the fuck? Like my mom had all these secrets she didn't even tell me about that. I know, right? It's really dramatic. Good morning. Thanks you guys for letting me ramble about it. It's fun for me. Nikki, how are you? Good, I want you to watch it so we can talk about it. Oh, here we go. This is Cora when she's young. Regina's mom, the one that's...
You stupid, foolish girl!
Like, she's... That's Snow White's mom. That's Cora.
What? You stupid, foolish girl!
What happened here?
Oh, the peasant fell, as they do.
Are you all right?
Fine.
Not you. Ava, are you all right, Ava?
Well, she ruined my slippers.
I don't think the girl meant any harm.
You shall receive no money for the flower, and you will apologize to Ava.
Apologize? The wench tripped me.
Curb your tongue. This is Princess Ava from the Northern Kingdom, our honored guest. She's a
Oh,
very
that ends up
important
being
woman.
Snow White's mom.
She's a girl.
And who are you, Miller's daughter? What's your name?
Cora.
Dan Neal, Cora.
So why she wanted her daughter to be royalty, because she had to get subjected a lot.
This will be the last bit of flour we will take from you. There are other mills out there.
I beg your pardon, Princess Ava.
Stay down until we have passed. You are where you belong.
Okay, that shit is what put a fucking huge Cora in her head when he'd always be like, stay down where you belong. Nice. Yeah, it has. So Cora, like, really wanted her daughter to not have, I guess she was, like, subjected to always getting, since she was poor, Cora, like, you know, she fucking really didn't want her, she was, like, really cutthroat about wanting her family to fucking move up in the social class. Like, she was, like, that's why she made her daughter be the queen. Okay, hold on. Well, this is Cora. She's really crazy. This has been the...
There's one important lesson I can impart on you.
There she is when she was older.
It's what it means to be a parent. You always have to do what's best.
Here's Cora when
for
she's
your
older.
children.
This is Gnarly.
Thank you.
It's his boyfriend.
I understand. Because that's what you're doing now.
Like a very famous thing that was doing the show, pulling people's heart out. I'm sorry, I'm not meaning to laugh, but it's like...
Mother, why have you done this? Because this is your happy ending. What? You have to trust me, Regina. I know best. Love is weakness, Regina. It feels real now. At the start, it always does. But it's an illusion. It fades. And then you're left with nothing but power. True power endures. And then you don't have to rely on anyone.
Ice cold, right? She's like,
I've
love
saved
is
you, my
weak.
love. You've ruined everything. I loved him. I loved him! Enough! I've endured this long enough. Now clean yourself up. Wipe away your tears. Because now, you're going to be queen.
And the only reason she became queen is because she saved Snow White on a horse when she was little, so that's why she hates Snow White. It makes it so, like, the evil queen in Snow White makes more sense. Like, the reason she hates Snow White is because when she was a little girl, Snow White was riding her horse and almost fell off, and then Regina saved her. And the king saw that and wanted to marry Regina. So it's like, fucking Regina feels like if she never saved Snow White on the horse, and none of this would have happened. She's like, I fucking should have let. She's like, I should have let that little girl die that day on that horse. Like, she always is just like resentful about it, because she's like, if she hadn't saved Snow White, none of that would have happened. So it's like she just was saving Snow White out of instinct. She just saw a little girl screaming and went and saved her. She wasn't like, the mom took advantage of it, you know. But then you see how the mom's past was like, and you're like, it's just interesting because it makes you see how generations of people to act. It's true, kind of. I mean, it's like, it is ice cold, but you know, people can be ice cold. It's pretty like, especially back in the day, like as a woman, and you like didn't really have much power. You know, a lot of your power came from like maybe if you could marry up into a higher class or something. It's really fucked up, like how cutthroat they were about it. But not really. I mean, I was reading about royal families and stuff, like how they would, you know, they used to have people test their food before they used to eat it, because they would always think they were going to get poisoned. Like, literally. Like, they always were afraid of getting poisoned. So they'd have, like, people there that would test their food for them. And test their drinks before they eat it. This is, like, history, not, like, once upon a time. This is, like... and this history thing I was reading about the royal families. About how, like, poison and stuff. Because people always wanted to kill each other in the royal family. Someone wants to be queen or king, you know what I mean? It's like, fucking imagine living in that back in the day. There's, like, no technology and, like, you know, like, people just, like, doing shady shit. And it's, like, and, you know, like, everybody wants to be king or queen. And there's, like, a whole line of, like, 10 people. And they're, like, thinking, okay, well, if I kill off Joe, George, Ricky, fucking whatever, like, then maybe I could be the second in line to the king. I mean, it's, like, insane. Like, people would do shit like that, just kill their family members, or, like, try to poison them. Or, yeah, they'd poison the swords, whatever they could. Maybe they'd poison the pillow, put stuff on it so they breathe it in. Yeah, the sword, I could see them do that, put something at the end of it. Joe, George, Ricky, Tim, Christian, Hans. I don't like how they make Rumple, though. I mean, Peter Pan evil, I told you that. It's weird. They make him, I don't like it either because it's like Peter Pan's supposed to be a little boy and they made it so he's like a guy who turned back into a kid. That's what's even creepier to me, I think, about him. It's like, cause sometimes, like, they made Peter Pan be, a man, like a full-grown man who then goes back to being a child instead of, like, him always being a child, you know? It's weird. Like, they do that because they're saying how in this version it's like he goes to Neverland and you can't fly or exist there unless you're, like, a child, you know? So he decides it's, like, where he wants to be. It's kind of weird, yeah. It's like, what the fuck? And I love Peter Pan, so I kind of don't like that they made him such a dipshit. But it's like, whatever. It was interesting for the show. It's a cool twist, but, like, he goes to... Like, it's... The guy is the dude, Peter Pan's Rumpelstiltskin's dad. Talk about even more fucked up of a family. Rumpelstiltskin, fucked up dude, his dad is Peter Pan. Okay, nobody knows this either. This is even more fucked up. And it's like when he was a little boy, it's like in the story, not like in real fairy tale land and Once Upon a Time. It's like his dad was like a drunk piece of shit. I know, you're like what? I know, it's weird. Like, they do so many twists and turns on characters. Like, I won't tell you them all, but that one is, it's like he was an adult and he was a bad dad to Rumple, and he was always drinking and shit. Nobody liked him, and he was like very mature. And so he said when he was a little boy, there was a land he used to go to called Neverland, and he brought Rumple there. But then when he was there, he met the spirit. Oh, that's the thing they make kind of creepy. They make Peter Pan's shadow its own thing. Like, Peter Pan's shadow, I don't know if you've ever seen Peter Pan, like how his shadow like flies around and shit. They make his shadow like its own entity. So the shadow is like its own spirit. It's like beyond Peter Pan. It's like the ghost. It's like the spirit thing. Okay? So then it's like this spirit, the ghost talks to Rumple's dad and tells him he can't live on the island unless he's a little boy. So then he decides to fucking turn into a little boy. And then he leaves Rumple. Rumple's a little boy. He has no dad after this. Okay? And he fucking, he goes and becomes Peter Pan. It's like, and then he named himself Peter Pan in the story after Rumpelstiltskin's doll. Because when Rumple was a little boy, he had a doll that he played with called Peter Pan. Okay, so when he turned into that, he called himself that. Because later on, when he meets Rumple again, and he goes, why do you think I called myself Peter Pan? It's like intense. It's like, well, because he looks younger than him too. It's like, what the fuck is up with, it's like, what the hell's going on? Like, they really did a good job there making Rumple seem like a better person than Peter Pan, and he's like, kind of evil. It actually kind of makes it makes Rumple seem like a better person, actually, because then you realize why Rumple had so, I call him Rumple, you realize why Rumple was such a fucking crazy piece of shit who fucked up with his own kid, is because his dad was Peter Pan, who fucking neglected him and left him, and he left him with a bunch of spinsters, these women who fucking use the spinning wheel all the time. That's why Rumpelstiltskin learned how to make shit into gold. He's like really good at sewing. Because his dad left him with these old women who were really good at it, sewing. But, because Rumple, the whole theme of this show is Rumple, when he used to be bad. There's a lot of worlds going on at once. He lost his son, Bellfire. The Blue Fairy, please watch it today, the Blue Fairy, like from Peter Pan. She sometimes comes to you if you need her help. If you like go out in the woods and ask for her. So Bellfire, Rumple's son, is like really fed up with his dad being a fucking drunk. Like Rumple's a drunk too. Rumple ends up growing up and being a drunk. And Rumple becomes the Dark One. The Dark One is like, basically like, if it's Lord of the Rings, he has this dagger that controls him. It's like really powerful. If you have this dagger, you fucking like, well, if I had the dagger, I could tell Rumpelstiltskin what to do, and he'd have to listen to me. I'd be like, go steal 10 copies of this, and he would have to do it. Like, whoever has it. It's like you have a lot of power for the Dark One, but also if somebody wields a dagger against you, they can make you do shit you don't want to do. Okay, so he becomes the Dark One. That's what it's called, the Dark One. You have the dagger controlling you. And then Bellfire's like, Dad, magic's making you evil. Please stop. All the kids at school don't like me. They think you're evil. I'm not done. And he just is sick of it. He's just like, I don't want any more magic around. My God, can you fucking stop? And he's like, I promise. He goes to the Blue Fairy and he's like, I just want my dad to stop using magic. And the Blue Fairy's like, thank you though. The Blue Fairy's like, well, you can't get your dad to do that, but I'll give you a magic bean. Like Jack and the Beanstalk, there's a lot of magic beans in the show. I'll give you a magic bean, and it will take you to a land without magic. All you have to do is have your dad go there. It's a portal. You know, he's like, if you, Bellfire and Rumple, he's like, if you guys go in the portal, you can go to this place without magic. And Bellfire's like, really? And he's like, yeah. And the fucking fairy's like, yeah. And so he tells his dad about it. And his dad, Rumple agrees. Okay, remember I told you Rumple makes deals with everybody? He's like the person you go to make a deal. So his son didn't think. He's like, you promise you want to make a deal on it? And Rumple's like, okay. So he shakes his son's hand, and then like they drop the bean in to go to the portal, and then at the like Bellfire jumps in, and at the last minute, like Rumple sees it and doesn't jump in. He's too scared. Okay, he won't let go of his magic. He won't let go of the sword, the wand, whatever, the dagger. He's like, I can't. And Bellfire's like, Dad, what are you doing? He's like, you're a coward. And then it's like Bellfire ends up falling through the portal without Rumple, because Rumple was too afraid to let go of his magic and his power. Okay, so he loses his son. And a lot of the series is Rumple trying to find his son again. Okay, he feels really bad about it. That's the difference between him and Peter Pan, because Peter Pan was his dad, and Peter Pan abandoned him too. You know, like Peter Pan abandoned Rumple. And it's like basically like Rumple abandoned his son too. He like didn't go with him in the portal. He fucking Bellfire's last memory of his dad was him. When he sees him later, he's like, my last memory of you was you being a fucking coward. Look, I was looking up at you as I was falling down a portal, and you were looking at me. He's like, that was my last memory of you, Dad. Is like you not following your promise. You let me go to a different world alone. You saw me fall through a thing. How you know you're my dad? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, Rumple's like, so sorry, babe. I didn't mean to, babe. That's how he talks. He's like, babe. And so it kind of makes Rumple seem like a better parent than Peter Pan. It kind of shows you too, because then when you go learn about Peter Pan, it's like he didn't feel bad about jack shit. Like he fucking neglected Rumple. Never tried to go find him again. Like he neglected Rumple. Never went to find him again. Didn't really care. It's like Rumpelstiltskin did fuck up by abandoning his kid too, but he felt bad about it, and that's why the whole show is like him trying to find a way back to find his son. That's the only reason he helped Regina make the curse. He thinks that maybe if he make the curse and go to a land without magic, he can find his son, because the little boy is supposed to go to Bellfire is supposed to go to a land without magic, okay? And then when the evil queen wants to make a curse to curse Snow White, that's the only reason why Rumpelstiltskin helps, is because he thinks that maybe it'll help him go to a land without magic, and that he'll be able to find his son that he hasn't seen in like years, because he fucking went through the portal without him. It's intense. It's like, but it shows too that like, you know, Rumpel's kind of a bad, quote unquote, bad guy, but he also like cares about his kid, and it shows you too that like there's different levels of people caring, kind of like not everybody's a good person. They are. It's just because I'm putting mascara on them. I'm gonna send you this cool glitter I like. Thank you, looks good. So it kind of shows like Rumpel being a fuck, compared to Peter Pan, he looks like Dad of the Year. I need to get this shit off my eyes. I just, you know, Peter Pan's like one of my favorite stories, so I was kind of pissed that they turned him into such a fucking asshole, but whatever. It made it it made it interesting, at least. I think that it's kind of... Thank you. I'm glad you listened to me. I know sometimes I go on random rants, but you might think, what does that have to do with anything? I don't know, but fantasy does inspire my work a lot. Like, when I write songs and stuff. You know, I've always been into, like, mythology and stories, so I just find it interesting to see how people can retell a story, too. Like, an ancient, like a tale everybody knows, and being able to, like, I've always been into stuff like that, when people can, like, mythology and fairy tales, and I think it's interesting how, like, they change some of them. You should. Oh my god, you're gonna ask me it? Hey. Yeah, and, like, I feel like sometimes I get the best inspiration out of stories sometimes, like, even for writing songs, it's weird, like, even though I write music, sometimes books and movies or something inspire me more to write a song than music. Because I want to write a fairy tale. It's like, because you know why? Because I think that when I read a book, it takes me to another world or something, and that makes me want to create a song from another world, compared to when I hear music. It doesn't really take me to another world, more so like another feeling. Like reading or something takes me to another world. Like when I read it, like I have to actually go into that world, I feel like. Or watch something, and then I swear, like every time I've like gotten into a book or movie, I end up writing a song more. I feel like there's something that activates my brain to be more creative, like. Yeah, I will be like an awesome man. In Hook, he's hot on the show. Hook is a hottie. I think, at least. Aunt Lizzie for the kitty. Hot. You're like, Hook is noted. Okay, Hook is hot. Okay, noted. Well, he's not that hot, but his personality is just kind of like... What can I say? I'm a sailor. I'm trying to set up a little recording studio. I think it should be in this room. Because then I could have like my chair here, some recording shit here. This weird keyboard. Like, nothing's organized. I just moved all the shit in here. This cool lamp. Taylor's best friend right here. globe lamp hoodie will never get finished. The chair. Yeah, that's my chair. It's like I have like not many. I'm like the chair. Oh my god, look at it. It's still snowing out. I hate that people think calling someone a snowflake's an insult. What is? The one that you're getting? I washed the jacket. I washed your jacket. It smells good. I'm in upstate New York. What? Tell everybody that? What? Old snarl spout? What? How often do I travel? I don't know, not that much lately. Oh, you like it? Thank you. What I'm working on, thanks, Tay. Oh, hello, puppy doo. She's coming over, look at her. Puff. Puppy? Puffin. Snarl spouts? Old snarl spout. I hate that this isn't charging. Ugh. Hold on.